Hello, everyone. As you can imagine, I will often get asked the following question. What is the difference between a cult and a religion? What is the distinction between an organization and religion and a cult? And just being able to have a sense of understanding. There's now some talk about if it matters, if you call something a cult or not. I suppose it does matter so that you know if you're involved in something that is healthy or not, that is deceptive or not, that is something that I would be worried about you being in and want to be able to help you if I could. And also that when you're involved in a cult, usually there are many after effects. So there are things that are important distinctions here, and that's why it's important to be able to do this video. I am Rachel Bernstein. I am a licensed therapist, cult specialist, and educator focusing on helping individuals from cultic groups. And I'm also the host of the IndoctriNation Podcast, which covers cults and manipulators and systems of control. And on this channel, I'm going to share insights with you and strategies to resist manipulation and heal from coercive situations. Please subscribe if you'd like to learn about these topics and more. So, let's dive into today's video. My work is not about judging beliefs. I don't judge. But it's about identifying patterns of control and manipulation. It's about learning what can cause profound harm. And sometimes these patterns emerge in a way within groups that started as genuine faith communities. That's why sometimes people will let me know about a group that they're involved in and they'll say, have you heard of it? And are you worried about it? And I might say I'm not worried, but I am still going to kind of keep watch, make sure, and try to understand and follow if this is an organization that could be potentially going south. It all depends upon who's running it and what their goals are and what their emotional and ego needs are. And then you know if it's going to be a healthy group or not. So today we're going to explore the key differences between healthy religious groups and destructive cults. More importantly, we're going to highlight the red flags that suggest that a religious community might be turning into something harmful. Let's get into definitions. What is a religion? At its best, a religion offers a framework for understanding the world, a sense of community, moral guidance, spiritual fulfillment. It often includes shared beliefs, rituals, and a sense of purpose. There is a key positive aspect here, which is that healthy religions empower individuals, encourage personal growth, and typically support connections with family and the broader community while allowing for individual autonomy and the freedom to question or to leave. What is a cult? A cult, however, is fundamentally about control, about manipulation, about deception. It's a group or a movement exhibiting a great or excessive amount of devotion to a charismatic leader and employing a thought reform program to indoctrinate its members. That is a crucial difference. The key is not the belief system itself, but the destructive methods of influence and control exerted over members, leading to psychological, financial, or physical harm. People will say, listen, you'll probably think that I'm involved in something that is a cult because it's so out there, it's so odd. If it's out there and odd, it's just out there and odd. It doesn't mean that it's destructive. It doesn't mean that it's dangerous. It all depends upon the kind of control that is exerted over you when you're in it. So cults can take many forms. It's a common misconception that all cults are religious. While many do have spiritual or philosophical elements, the truth is, a cult's defining characteristics, extreme control, an authoritarian leader, and systematic manipulation can manifest in any type of group. I've seen cultic dynamics in self-help groups, political movements, business schemes, therapy groups, multi-level marketing companies, and even seemingly benign lifestyle communities. The ism or belief system is secondary to the methods of influence. Here's a crucial takeaway for you. if you're assessing a group, don't just look at what they believe. Look at how they operate and how they treat their members. So here's the slippery slope of it all. When a religious group becomes cultic, how would you know? What do you need to look out for? First, if there's unquestioning obedience to a single leader. Now, there could be sometimes 2 leaders or 3. Usually, though, there's a single leader. Religious groups. In healthy religions, leaders provide guidance, but members are encouraged to seek truth, study, and maintain personal conscience. You can ask them questions. You can disagree with them. Within cultic groups, the leader becomes the sole interpreter of truth, demanding absolute and unquestioning obedience. Their word is law, superseding individual conscience, family, or external morality. Many people say they changed when they were involved in this. They no longer had a clear sense of what was right and what was wrong. They just had to follow what the leader said was right and what was wrong. And another red flag is that when questioning the leader, if you're met with severe punishment, shunning, or accusations of spiritual deficiency, that's the time to really rethink your involvement there, because that means that critical thinking and exercising your freedom of inquiry and your freedom of expression is not going to be allowed there and is going to be actually punished, and punished severely, and usually publicly with public shame. There's also isolation and control over information. So within a religious group that's not cultic, like a healthy faith community, it encourages members to live in the world and engage with diverse perspectives. And even if you're not living in the world, still you have access to it. You can go on the internet. You can talk to friends and family who are outside of it. No problem. Within cultic groups, members are subtly or overtly encouraged to cut ties with outside friends and family and information sources. The group becomes your entire world, and outside information is deemed evil or misleading or dangerous. And so, here's another red flag. When leaving the group or speaking to outsiders is presented as a spiritual danger or betrayal, you know you're in a group that wants to absolutely control you in every way, and you have lost your freedom to connect and stay connected and to be able to have conversations with people outside. There's also the issue of exploitation and excessive demands. Within a religious group, many religions ask for tithes, or they ask for you to volunteer. Sometimes they might even ask a lot. But these are generally voluntary and for community benefit, and you can say no. They might not like it if you say no, but you can still say no. Within a cult, the group or leader makes excessive demands on members' time. You are pushed to give money, to give labor, usually for free, and to give over personal autonomy. You also will not be liked more or thanked for this. It will be expected of you. And this can involve giving away all your assets, working for free and sacrificing your education, your career for the group's agenda or the group's needs of you to be doing free labor for them. And so when the demands feel unsustainable, really unsustainable, like you're exhausted and depleted and you have nothing left and you've drained your resources in every way and you've eroded your personal life without genuine reciprocal benefit, you want to really look at how this group is more cultic than healthy. And then there's the manipulation and the guilt and the fear tactics. So religious groups, they may use guilt as a motivator for ethical behavior. It's not unheard of. It does happen. But it's balanced with grace and forgiveness, and you can still say no. Within cults, though, they will use fear and guilt and shame constantly to control your behavior and prevent members from leaving. There are threats of spiritual damnation, of social ostracization, which happens a lot. People are shunned, people are disconnected from. And also there are many negative consequences. Again, going back to the public shaming, that's a big one that's used in cults. When leaving the group is associated with severe negative outcomes, with threats, with personal ruin, or the loss of everything in your community, and you find out all of these relationships were conditional, and you also are losing your immortal soul, that's more of a cult than a healthy religious organization. So why does this distinction matter? First of all, it has to do with personal safety, which is why I care about this to such a degree. Understanding these markers is crucial for protecting yourself and your loved ones from falling into harmful, high-control environments without your knowledge, without your consent, without knowing what you're saying yes to. It helps us differentiate between genuine spiritual seekers and those who have been harmed by manipulative systems. And then, once you know that part of the reason you're having all these after effects is because you were in a dangerously manipulative system, then you can get the proper support. Then you can get recovery. So many times within cultic systems, abuse isn't called abuse. You don't know you've been abused. You don't know you've been neglected. You don't know that you've been harmed. You've been told it was for your benefit somehow or something you deserved. And so you might not realize that you have post-traumatic stress. You might not realize that you need trauma-informed therapy. And so it's important to know what you were in, and it's important to know what happened to you. By exposing destructive cults, we also help preserve the integrity of healthy religious and spiritual paths. So remember, the distinction between a healthy religion and a cult lies in control and manipulation and the potential for harm. Look for absolute leadership and isolation, exploitation, tactics of fear, shame, and guilt. And also trust your gut. If something feels off, if your autonomy is being eroded, or if love feels conditional, it's time to pay attention. And especially if they're telling you not to trust your gut, if they're telling you not to listen to your inner voice, that is something that I would hope would make you pause and wonder why they're telling you to not hear that inside voice that's guiding you, that's protecting you, that's warning you. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. If you have concerns about a group or need support, please reach out to my website. The links are in the description. Take good care.